Hi guys, it's Danielle with your Danielle Daily, the last one of this week. I'm so happy to have you guys here. I'm feeling so much better than yesterday. Yesterday was really tough to get on and to do this broadcast, but at the same time, it was a focus point for me to do something that I love to do, to interact with people I love. And so I'm really, really glad that I got myself out of bed, that I refused to wallow in my pain, and that I was able to hang out with you guys. And you guys were offering me lots of encouragement and support. It was wonderful. You had so many little hearts going across the screen. It was awesome. So thank you so much for that. I just came back from the yoga studio. It has been an interesting morning. I have so much I want to talk to you about today. I will try to keep our discussion on topic. But if you are new to the broadcast, just know that you can find me here at 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific throughout the month of October, every single weekday. So this will be the last broadcast for this week, but I'll be right back here Monday morning. And we'll have a whole nother week. And if you haven't heard yet, I actually started taking these videos and uploading them to a YouTube channel. So if you search YouTube for the Danielle Daily, you can find all of the past videos in one place for you. I've made that really convenient. Looks like Jennifer has just joined us. Thank you so much. People popping in. I really appreciate you guys being here for the Danielle Daily. If you're just joining us again, I'm Danielle Watson. This is the Danielle Daily. Today we're talking about positivity as a practice. We're talking about refusing to wallow in life's little heartbreaks and some strategies that I use. And I want to share with you a really big aha that I had this morning. You know, I'm always talking about positivity and having a good attitude and moving forward. And I actually take a lot of flack for that. I get called Pollyanna. I get called lots of things that you wouldn't really want to be called. And I had a realization this morning that I think will help a lot of those people who accuse me of sort of suppressing negative emotions or denying things that maybe don't feel so great. I think it will help them understand what it is I'm trying to do, because under no circumstances am I saying that life is always peaches and cream, that nothing bad ever happens, that I never have a negative emotion. That's not what I'm trying to say. It looks like Amber Parnell has just joined us. Thank you so much for the hearts. I love that. So we're going to talk about that today, and several of you have just joined us. So again, I'm Danielle Watson. This is the Danielle Daily. I was hoping to broadcast from outside again today, but we have a storm that just rolled in, and so I just had to grab the first spot I could find. So I hope that I'm holding the camera steady enough. I am here every weekday throughout the month of October at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Today we're talking about refusing to wallow in life's heartaches, how to keep moving forward, and a big aha that I just had this morning that I think will really help solidify for you guys why a practice of positivity is important and how it's different than simply denying emotions and simply denying how you really feel about something, because that's not something I'm advocating. It's not something I want anyone to do. Whatever it is you are feeling is valid and is a natural and normal response to whatever has happened in life, but you have choices, and I want to let you know what I just discovered about how I'd like to start talking about that so that it doesn't feel like I'm asking you to suppress what doesn't feel good and just to move on and to, put on your big girl panties and forget that you're angry or hurt or whatever it is. No, I want you to feel whatever it is you feel, but then I want you to pick yourself up, and I want you to practice positivity. That is what I teach. I teach a practice of positivity. We work our positivity muscles here by every single day refocusing on how we want to live, how we want to feel, how we want to think, and taking charge of that. So thank you so much for joining me on this Friday. It's the last broadcast of the week. I will have a note to self for you near the end of the broadcast today. I love it when you guys comment on what's going on in in your life, any relevant stories that you have on today's topic, feedback about what I'm saying, whether you agree, whether you disagree. I've been so lucky I haven't had any virtual trolls yet. I did have a gentleman who, when I was broadcasting in public, asked me to keep it down while I was live. That was a little uncomfortable, but I made it through. And so whatever you guys have to say, I'd love to read it. Looks like Tammy has joined us, and Lisa, thank you so much. So today we are chatting about refusing to wallow in life's heartaches, moving forward, and the really big aha I had about this practice of positivity that I teach. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about that a little bit. I really want to know what you guys hear and what you think when I share this with you. So if you know me at all, you know that I walk around in the world and I try to see the best in everything and everyone. I'm very focused on finding the positive in everything. And I hope also, if you've been watching me for any length of time, I'm also fully willing to admit that things go wrong in my life and that I have pain and things happen that don't feel good. Just yesterday, I was dealing with a heartache because I just ended a relationship and it was hurting me. If you've been following me longer than that, you know that I've been through divorce, I've been through moving, I've been through the same normal life circumstances that are difficult, loneliness, all of those things over the past year. And yet I've kept a positive mindset, and it's not because I'm really good at pretending stuff isn't happening to me. If you watch my feed, I'm pretty good about reporting, when things aren't going well and when I feel like I need support. But I always bring it back around to practicing this practice of positivity, to focusing on what is going well. And the aha I had this morning was that, like I said, it's not about denying what you're feeling. It's about giving yourself the gift of some relief. So my practice of positivity is not about forgetting what's going on. It's not about denying that something that feels yucky happened. It's about finding some relief. So I have ways that I do that. So I like to go to yoga class. And so when I feel like things are not going well, I keep going to yoga class because I know it's something that's fun for me. I know it's something I enjoy. I'm looking for some kind of relief. So life is going to bring things that don't feel good, and I don't have to learn to like those things. All I have to do is practice finding that little bit of relief for myself. So maybe that looks like looking at the beautiful view out the window. Maybe that looks like finding a flower on the ground, or a leaf, or a feather. Maybe that looks like appreciating when I find a penny on the ground. Maybe that looks like going out and looking at something beautiful in nature. Like right now we have beautiful, beautiful trees turning colors. The red and the yellow are my favorite. I spent some time looking at those yesterday. So what I want to convey to you is, yes, I get a lot of people who call me Pollyanna and other not so nice names, and who've accused me of saying, hey, you're not allowing people to feel their feelings. And I've always said, no, that's not what I'm doing. I do want people to feel whatever it is they're feeling. Those feelings are always valid. But what I do want to teach you how to do is how to reach for some relief from the feelings that don't feel good. And the way I do that is through this practice of positivity. So focusing on the positive, doing something positive for yourself, contributing to somebody else, doing whatever it is that you need to do to bring yourself some relief. So there are people who say you need to wallow in the pain, and if you deny the pain, then it's going to come back to you. And I think there are people out there who are very good at suppressing those negative emotions, and they pack them away and they come kind of flying out in other places. But that's not what I'm trying to teach you guys to do. It's not what I'm trying to model in my own life. What I am trying to show you is that you have emotions, the ones that don't feel so good. It's okay to feel them for a while, but then when you feel ready, when you feel like, I don't want to feel this way anymore, that's when you reach for your positivity practice. And through your positivity practice, you find a little bit of relief, and then you find a little bit more relief. And then one day you wake up and it doesn't hurt so much anymore. And then another day you wake up and you forgot that you were hurting for a little while. And then the next day maybe you wake up and you're not in pain anymore at all. So I'd love some feedback on what you guys think about that idea of practicing positivity to find relief rather than to suppress whatever it is we're feeling or to deny whatever it is we're feeling. I'd love it if you'd comment on what kinds of practices you use to find relief when you find that you're in a place that doesn't feel good. So I said, I go to yoga class, I look at nature, I notice the little things in life. Dude, sometimes I have a big old bowl of chocolate ice cream with chocolate sauce on it. And if it's really bad, I will go to the store. I will make fresh whipped cream and I will put a maraschino cherry on that and chop up some candied pecans from Trader Joe's and chow down, because that's what I need in the moment to get some relief. Because I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a world where I feel terrible all the time. That doesn't mean I don't ever feel terrible. I do. But as soon as I'm ready to feel something else, I have strategies in place that help me do that. So I'm curious, what are you guys thinking about that? What are your positivity practices? Do you find it useful to wallow in your pain? Are you looking for a way to find relief from that? What's going on? Tammy Keck says Oreos. Yes, I have been known also to scarf down more than my fair share of Oreos. Sometimes I dip them in milk, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I eat the cream centers, sometimes I don't. It depends on the day. Another one of my favorite indulgences is Mexican food. So like big, heavy cheese enchiladas and refried beans and rice and tortillas. Just carb it up. It's delicious. It makes me feel better for a moment. And it's not something that you want to do all the time, but when you're really in a deep, dark place, anything you can do to reach for relief is good. Now, if you're reaching for the same relief over and over, then we're kind of moving into habit and an addiction. But if you can find something positive to focus on, even if that's your love of enchiladas, I think that can be a healthy thing. Tammy Keck says, then a workout the next day. Yes, absolutely the workout. When I was on my mat this morning, practicing yoga, which I just got back from the studio. That's why I still have my yoga ponytail and my yoga tank top on. I was really just enjoying my practice so much. And yesterday after I did the broadcast, I also attended a class at the same studio. And I just love how our body lets us know how we are and whether we're going in the right direction. And it helps us to understand that we're going to be okay. So even though yesterday I was really feeling the heartache, I was really feeling down, I had spent my morning crying, I managed to do the broadcast, I felt better, I interacted with you guys, it was great, you brought me smiles. And then I went to yoga class, and even though my head and my heart were saying that I was hurt and that I was down, my body said, you're strong. My body said, you're grounded. My body said, you're balanced. You can do this. And I had a really great practice. And again, same thing this morning. I had a really great practice. I felt the power of having my body respond and do anything I asked of it. Anything I asked it to do, it was able to do. And that was an amazing feeling. So if you guys want to type in any strategies, I would love that. If you're new to Facebook Live, you might not realize that you can like this broadcast as it's happening. You can also like it after the fact. If you want to share the broadcast, even if you don't think the person who you would share it with could watch it now, you can press the share button, which is in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. That would be awesome. I'm sure there's somebody who could use a little positivity in their life and who this might be exactly the message they need to hear. Now, as you know, I am doing these broadcasts every single weekday throughout the month of October at the same time, 2 o'clock Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. But after that, I'll be doing pop-up positivity parties, so they won't be happening at the same time each day. But if you subscribe by either clicking on the arrow or the 3 little dots in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you can choose to receive notifications so you'll know when that's happening and you can join me. I would love that. I love seeing your face. Looks like Michael Keck is also watching. Awesome. Thank you guys so much for joining me on this Friday. It's the last of these broadcasts for the week. I'm super excited to share about the aha that I had today. That was really big for me. I hope that helped you a little bit too, helped you understand a little bit more what I'm talking about when I am teaching about having a positivity practice and allowing that practice to be something that you do on a regular basis and something that you come back to when life gets difficult, when life's little heartbreaks, pop up. Your positivity practice, if you've been, using your positivity muscles on a regular basis, it will just come right back, no matter how hurt you are, no matter how much life is feeling like it kicked you in the knees and you're down. If you practice that, focusing on the positivity, on finding relief from whatever it is you're experiencing on a regular basis, it makes it so much easier when things get intense to go right back to that practice. So in just a moment, I'm going to give today's note to self. I love that we got some contributions on what you guys do to help find relief. We got Oreos. I definitely love to eat Mexican food. I love to go out into the world and see what beauty there is to behold. I do my yoga practice. I do nice things for myself, like going to get a massage. Sometimes I eat a pile of ice cream. Sometimes I call a friend. Whatever it is, that positivity practice is something that can really get you through those hard times so that you can get back to living the happy, fun, inspired life that you want to live. So today's note to self, let's see, I wrote it down. So, dear self, the pains of life will come, but by practicing positivity, you will find the relief you seek. So I'll read that to you guys again. I highly recommend that you write these down, maybe on a Post-it note or on something that you can tape up somewhere in your house so that when you have a rough day, or even just on a normal day, you're looking at these and they're reinforcing positivity. One of the positivity practices I have is just to always be looking for things that are positive. So I look in my Facebook feed for where are people happy, what kind of quotes are people putting out there that are great, and I collect them on my cell phone, I put them around my house. I love doing that. It's what I look for. So again, I'll read today's note to self. So, dear self, the pains of life will come, but by practicing positivity, you will find the relief you seek. So whenever the pains of life come, all we want is to feel better, isn't it? We just want to feel better. And I hope that today I made it clear that by wanting to feel better, it doesn't mean that you're denying your pain. I'm simply asking that you not wallow in it, that you focus on what it is that you do want to feel, and that you allow yourself to take one small step that will bring you a little bit of relief so that you can get back to eventually feeling and thinking the way that you want to think and feel. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for being here. Tammy says puppies. Yes, I remember there was an episode of Scrubs years ago where they said, bring in the box of puppies. And I thought to myself, oh my goodness, every mental health facility in the entire world should have a box of puppies and a box of kittens. And if somebody's just having a really bad day, just let them choose. Do you want to play with a whole bunch of puppies or a whole bunch of kittens? And I think the world would be a much better place if we did that. If I ever decide to run for president, that is going to be on my platform. So again, thank you so much for joining me for today's Danielle Daily. I love hosting these positivity parties. I love receiving your feedback. There's nothing better than seeing those little hearts going across the screen and the thumbs ups. I love that. This to me was probably the most important broadcast I've done so far. If you're joining late, I hope you'll go back and listen, because I really feel like I finally explained what the practice of positivity is and why we do it and how it's different from denying or suppressing our emotions, and why, you know, it's not the healthiest thing to just go ahead and wallow in life's pain. So thank you for joining me. I love you guys. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I will see you again here on Monday, same time, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And until then, I hope you guys have a great day. I love you. This has been Danielle Watson with the Danielle Daily. Bye. Mwah.